Hi guys, I'm Rhys. I'm a plumber by trade. This is my shed and you would have seen me on YouTube doing YouTubey stuff with cars. Here, come along and I'll show you around. This is my mate Ben's. We just got this. Yeah.
How does a show car end up like this?
I don't know, man. My mate Ben bought this one. Well, actually, I'll have to start from the beginning. When I dropped off Danielle's Valiant to Tasmania, I was in Victoria and I didn't talk to this guy, so I went and bought this one. But what I thought I was buying was this immaculate show car. So completely sight unseen. I had the money, went there, and this is what I had. And it was just, it didn't run, didn't do anything. So I was there getting it running. The wheels were like hitting the brakes, so it wouldn't even move, and like I had to fix that. I had no tools because I was just over there dropping the car off. So yeah, so anyway, this will be one of our new projects.
Haven't seen a high sung for a while.
Yeah, I'm going to turbo it. I got a turbo, got all the parts for it. So we're just going to turbo it and then just sell it.
And these are just parts cars out here, are they? Or?
Yeah, so what we got is a trailer going to the tip. That's our Magna Ferrari. So we use that as the forklift. Okay, so we like chuck things on top of it. We drag stuff around. We got a Magna that I need to fix up and sell. This one, if you have a look at the paint on it, this is on friends of mine, and it's an old show car. I have a problem with buying old show cars, but this has no sun today, but see it's got the flakes?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, again, spent a lot of money on it, and but the original owner just let this one sit and kind of, yeah, fade away. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Is that turbo as well? Or?
Nah, this one's got nitrous on it.
Do you want to go up? Or?
Yep. Sorry, let's just chuck on the roof. Might as well. It's not like it's going to hurt the paint. So we want to put it on dyno. It's about 1,300 horsepower of nitrous. It's just as a gag, okay? But I can't find anyone that's going to let me put it on the dyno to use the nitrous. I think I know a bloke who's going to let me do it. He just says if whatever happens, I just have to clean up afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, just before it'd be a noble death for it, you know? But this was all nice, but now it's all rusty. So, project for another day. That one I want to drive across the channel in Albany.
So we're going to stance this.
Across the channel?
Yeah, in the water. Yeah, so we're going to take all four wheels off. This is exclusive stuff. I've got tyres about this big for it, and I need to get drums, and we're going to get some steelies, and we're going to weld them all together, bolt them on, and I'm going to take it down to the boat club. We're going to go across the channel.
Cool project.
It shouldn't be too difficult, should it? I actually might need a good welder.
Oh, you've even got yourself a mill as well.
Oh yeah. So this is where we do like all the cutting and modifying. That's meant to be a clean bay. So like just doing like clean engine bay stuff. We're still trying to work everything out.
You put a mez in, or was this here when you got the shed?
This was here as well. Yeah. This was here as well.
So the shed was existing when you moved in?
Completely existing. It cost them about $200,000 to build.
Wow.
Yeah.
How big is it?
36 metres by, I believe, 8. Whatever that is in square metres, I don't know. Get a calculator. Now, let's start talking about projects.
Yeah, so obviously this is a pretty big project you got on the go. Tell us a bit about this one.
Absolutely. So as you can see, we've got the fire extinguisher manifold. You got to have one of these, mate, on a burnout car.
Very different.
Yes. So this is my mate Ben's car that we're building at the moment. Twin turbo. It's got a 3-litre in there. Now that car that you were looking at the back, that has a forged 3-litre. So we're going to put the forged engine into this so he can make, well, he wants to make around 800 horsepower.
Yeah, right.
At the wheels,
Yep.
which is a lot.
Yep.
I mean, he definitely has the turbo capacity to do it with these two, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. He wants to run it on methanol, so there's still a lot of work. I've got the gooch. This is the gooch pipe that we made for it.
So you're pretty handy with a TIG welder?
Pretty handy with two, and that sits in there. And obviously we just had to chop out all this frame and modify it for this radiator. This is a standard radiator, but he wanted to change it from a mechanical fan to electric fans. And yeah, it was just hitting against this, so...
Is he going to run any extra cooling on the tray or anything like that, or is he only going to rely on the radiator?
Well, because he's running methanol, I mean, that has a pretty good cooling factor anyway.
Yep.
So it should be all right, but we're going to see. What I really want him to do is change to a water pump, electric water pump.
Yep.
So that it just keeps it cool. So if he has to shut the engine off,
he can keep it running.
He can keep it running, yeah.
Yep.
Should be pretty fun. And to top it off, we've got the LS2 102mm throttle body on a 3-litre. It's meant for a 6, so some fun. And we've done some other stuff in there. So we've put some racing seats in there. We've started the
roll cage.
Yep, roll cage.
These just oil coolers and trans cooler at the back, or?
So yeah, sorry about all the stuff in there. So he's got his fuel cell here. Yep. He's got his Astra
power steering pump.
Thank you. So nervous. Someone else is recording you. So what he's going to do, he's going to have that no cooler. He's going to have that one as the engine cooler. What was this one for again?
Trans cooler, or?
That's right, it is. It's trans cooler. Thank you. Yep, so he's got the big fuel cell here. He's got dual pumps underneath. We ended up shorting the diff, and we ended up making this as well. So as you can see, this car usually sits out here. So we've cut a lot off. One of the really cool things we did is the suspension. We did a suspension job. So usually this is down here.
Yep.
We've cut it out and we've put the tube through the chassis just to drop it as low as you can, well, pretty much go.
Yep. What's the time frame for this one to try and get it up and running?
Things like this usually take about 12 months. This is a big project. Big because we're doing stuff that we've never done before. Like we've never shown a diff, for example. That was the first diff we ever done. And yeah, we're just trying to work it all out. And obviously it is something different. It's a Mitsubishi Triton. Not many people modify Mitsubishi Tritons for probably a good reason. But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's different. Like at least when he gets to the stage when he can start skidding it, like everyone's going to be looking at it like, okay, what is this thing like?
Well, everything in this shed is pretty much different other than the GTO and the Evo, which we're going to find out next. Yep. This is my Evo 7, and this is a GTA, which means that this came with an auto, which no one really wants an auto Evo. So the first thing I did is I put a manual in it. So that's running the standard auto ECU. As you can see, I've still got to clean up the wiring a little bit, but you know, it works.
Yep.
Chucked a 5-speed manual in there because that's what everyone wants. And the whole idea of this whole car is we're going to make the Too Fast, Too Furious Evo. Yeah. So we're going to get the same bumpers, same stickers. I've already talked to the guy over in the States about getting the stickers, and he reckons he can still do them. We're going to paint it the same color. We're going to have the same interior. Everything is going to be pretty much the same. The only difference is we're actually going to modify the engine. So the car in the movie just had a stock engine, had nothing done to it.
Yeah.
This is already making 270 horsepower at the wheels. We want to try and make about 400.
Yeah. Which
apparently is very, very easy with this engine. This is classified as like a 7.5 Evo.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like an in-between. So apparently this engine is the stronger engine, like the Evo 8, not the Evo 7 one. So apparently these are really good, and you can just boost them up.
Yeah. So you're just going to different intake manifold, different turbo?
No. Different turbo, different turbo manifold.
Yep.
It's already got a pretty big exhaust, so I might just change the dump.
Yep.
Like we just want to make 400, but do it without too much effort.
Yep.
I do have cans for it. We probably will go to E85 because it just makes it easier just to make that power.
Yep.
So then we have to do fuel pump and injectors. But other than that, same ECU, reflash it,
Yep.
And then the paint job.
Are you going to paint it here in the shed?
Yeah, sure, why not? And yes, we are putting the factory Evo wing on it, if anyone asks. We're not putting that bloody... Yeah, it's a nice car.
Yeah.
And I paid nothing for it. 13,000, nothing for an Evo anyway.
Yep. And this is your baby, is it? This
is my baby. This is my first car. This is actually Australia's fastest front wheel drive over 1,000 metres.
Yep.
And I still have that title. When did I get that? 2017 is when I took the record off Mazda, I think they called a Mazda 3.
Yeah.
They're front wheel drive as well. And he had it before me. But yeah, so I took that. The engine is impressive, about 620. Oh, actually, no, engine's about 800 horsepower, but at the wheels is about 620 something horsepower. And that's running about 29 PSI.
Yep.
The engine could take a lot more, but that turbo's run out of puffs, so we have to upgrade the turbo. So what I've decided to do is change everything. I'm going to change the manifold to one that sits centrally, which I'll show you in a second.
Yep.
We're going to put a bigger turbo on. I'm going to try and squeeze a 4-inch exhaust on it, or just a 4-inch dump if I can.
Yep.
And I want to redo my manifold.
So did you build all the manifolds from scratch when you were doing this? Or?
Hyperdrive. So this was done 15 years ago.
Yep.
By Hyperdrive. So it was before I was really doing stuff by myself. So I made like the beginning of this, and then he's modified it, all this. So he's done that, he's done that. He did the manifold and stuff like that. But there is stuff I have upgraded. I put a bigger intercooler on it, for example. I've done some intercooler piping on it now.
Yep.
So just upgrades because, like I said, I'm pretty much at the limit of this setup. I need to change a bunch of stuff.
Yep.
But you'll like the interior, mate. So this is where the Smurfs came to die. Mitsubishi symbol the roof, TVs. I mean, when I got the interior done, I wasn't really trying to do racing with the car. I was trying to do car shows. So this is why it's all blue with Monaro seats. So yeah, so these are Monaro seats front and back. It did have a stereo system in it, but I took that out obviously to start racing. The gearbox is it's hard to say, but it's like an Evo 5-speed gearbox, but I've converted to front-wheel drive, and it actually comes from the Netherlands. It was about 35k in the car, complete with the clutch and all that stuff that I had to change to make it front-wheel drive.
Yep.
So I spent a bit of money on the girl.
Yep. But I suppose it's one of those things to be able to hold that much power in a car like this, you sort of have to do it. So,
well, this is the thing. I used to have autos, and for example, I had an auto at Racewars, just had it freshly built. I went down 3 times. The auto transmission was dead.
Yeah.
It only lasted 3 runs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just over it. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this properly and I want to be competitive, I'm going to spend the money on the actual gearbox.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I took it down the track with all that interior in the car. So if you have a look over on the tyre rack over there, you will see those big bunter tyres. They're 315s.
Yeah.
And that's what I really want to run.
Yeah.
Beforehand, I was running 275s. And the biggest I fit on here so far is 295s. So that's what I want to try and fit on.
Yeah. So what's your plans moving forward with this one?
Oh, 900 horsepower at the wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those big tyres. I need a metal fabricator actually to make some custom flares for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know a guy now.
Don't want to do fiberglass guards?
No, not really. No, I like metal, man. The GDO, the Australian Classic, for sale at the right price if anyone is keen on this.
Yep.
So I've had this for probably, God, I was only like 20 when I got this. What am I? I'm going to say between 16 to 18 years. I have done many kilometres on it. This is definitely not a showpiece. This was a daily driver and I took it everywhere.
Yep.
A lot of my mates tease me about it because it's multiple colours of yellow. That just happens. Obviously, the bumpers fade and This is a very common problem. They rub with the wind. So pretty much every GTO has that.
Yep.
But yeah, what I would like to do with it is put fresh seals on everything, repaint it, and put a stroker engine in it.
Yep.
And then sell it. The reason is I'm trying to sell the Evo. Once that's done, I'm going to sell this because there's a certain car that I've had my eye on for a very long time. I don't want to say it to the people of YouTube, but there's a car that's cost a lot of money. I really want it, and I have to sell this and that to afford it.
Yep. So this one's got a short shifter in it as well, does it? Or?
No, standard, bro.
Yep.
Standard. They had a short shifter. How much does this have? I think they come with 270 kilowatt. This model.
Yep.
I've had it on the dyno. It made 330 horsepower, and the only things I've done to it is a cold air intake and twin 3-inch exhausts and some really nice headers. So if you have a look at the headers, they're quite decent size.
Yep. So still factory cam.
Oh, still factory cam. Does a 13.8 down the quarter mile.
Yep.
I actually should have said that. The Evo does a 13.3, was it, down the quarter mile? So the Evo is actually quicker than this.
Yep.
And next to it is the Skyline. Now, before anyone says anything, the reason why we've got this tied up here is because the gearbox is out of it. And if you watch my channel, you will find out why the gearbox is out of it soon. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. But something really, really bizarre happened to this car.
Yep. This is a mate's car, this one?
This is mate. This is Brody Shattuck's car.
Yep.
This is also for sale once he gets the gearbox all fixed up and working. So if you guys want a coupe R34 in orange, this is a car that you want because he's spent some big bucks on this.
Yep. 25 or?
Still 25. I mean, it's all custom stuff. So he's got the big platinum. Obviously, he spent thousands on that.
Yeah.
A 4-inch intercooler piping, big intercooler to the turbo. That's all custom made. We made that here.
Yep.
And actually, Brody put the engine together here as well with a mate. He's got aftermarket 6-boost manifold, 3-inch dump, 3-inch exhaust all the way to the back. Brody actually did that himself.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he actually did really well. Nice welds and everything.
Yep.
The interior, pretty much stock. He's just cleaning up a little bit before he sells it. But yeah, it's a really nice car.
So is this factory turbo car?
Yes. Yeah, this is a factory turbo. Was it an auto? I think it was an auto originally. And he's made it a manual. But great car.
Yeah. Because these were a GTT, weren't they?
This is a GTT, yep. Yeah, it's a really nice car. And mate, this made about 340 horsepower at the wheels.
Yep.
And then we got the Valiant with the Barra engine in it.
Yep. Fits in pretty easily, doesn't it?
No, it does not. It does not fit in easily. It's been a lot of work. And it's still not 100%. So if you have a look at my little lines here, it's about 10 mil off.
Yeah.
So
what did you have to modify to make it fit?
Everything. No, I pretty much had to cut the K-frame and I ended up moving the mounts back.
Yeah.
You can kind of see what I did. But I've tried to use the factory Ford mounts. I just like doing that. I don't like changing them to the tough ones.
Yep.
And we're going to put a big turbo on it.
Yep.
I don't care if this doesn't spool. It's not for power. It's just for fun.
Yep.
And the time period on this is hopefully before my son gets to high school.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Or is it?
It's got the Ford Auto in it. I put the Ford Auto in it so I could line up the engine. But I reckon I might go to Power Glide or maybe like a 350.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a 3-speed on the tree. I want to keep that.
Yeah.
Because if I keep it on the tree, this car's actually a 6-seater. License is a 6-seater. And as you can see, I've used it to stack half the stuff in there. But yeah, obviously convert that gas engine to petrol. Like I said, not after power, so I'll just make it 98 or 95 RON.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of work. I've had it for a long time.
So was this a running car when you got it and you've stripped it down, or did you buy it as a shell? Or?
No, yeah, I used to Bennett's in this thing. It was sick. No, it was a running car, but obviously the paint wasn't that great. Pretty much the body was like this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is there much rust in it, or is it pretty solid?
Well, the Valiants, where they rust in the Valiants normally is the rear quarter panels. This one actually has good rear panels, so happy about that. And the boot. So I sandblasted the boot, so it's not rusting, but it does need a bit of attention. Other than that, I mean, this is a surface rust, really.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take much to clean this back off.
Yeah. What colour are you going to paint this one?
Well, originally I was going to paint it purple, but I think I'm going to paint it the new Mitsubishi red.
Okay.
Because, guys, technically, this is a Magna. You're going to hate me for saying it, but really that's what took over the Valiants, was Mitsubishi. Back in, I think it was the 1980s, Mitsubishi bought Chrysler. So all these ended up, what really replaced the Ford Valiant was the Magna.
Yeah, right. Went from obviously a rear-wheel drive car to a front-wheel drive car.
Yeah, they kind of screwed up that. They should have kept them rear-wheel drive. But yeah, it went from the Valiant, and then they had the Chrysler Sigma, and then went to the Chrysler, the Mitsubishi Sigma, and then the Mitsubishi Magna.
Yeah.
That's how they... So at the stage, the Sigma was Chrysler, and then it was Mitsubishi.
Yeah. Another project with the Caravan, or...?
Yeah, well, we bought it. Logan likes to go Caravan. We bought this cheap, about $4,000, and silly me, I'm like, oh, I'll put a bigger bed in for us. Anyway, I started ripping it apart, and I was like, oh no, there's wood right everywhere. I was like, fuck. So it is stripped now.
Problem with these vans is when they build them, they do the inside first, and then they clad the outside afterwards. So when you start stripping them from the inside, there's so many fixings you can't actually get to properly.
Exactly. But we're just going to make it really simple. I don't want to change anything this side. Just clean up that side. I'm going to try and... Well, I've measured it. We can fit a king-size bed in there.
Yeah.
Which would be sick. King-size bed, just reframe it, put an aircon unit in it, and just... I kind of like the outside, really. I know it looks a bit grotty and stuff, but it's a vibe.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a very cool shed, like, to be able to have the space to be able to have all your cars set up like this. And...
Well, this is why I bought the place. I saw the shed and I was like, I've got to have this. Just saying, the bigger the shed, the more you fill up with stuff.
Yeah. Looks like you need to find a Sparky to update some of your lights, mate.
Yeah, what I really want to do is change the ones down that end bay to LED. Do you want to have a look at the engines as well? There's the turbos, and there's Loud One's new manifold.
Oh, yeah. So have you just made an adapter plate for the Holly?
No, I got one made up in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, put the Loud One in it and everything. Prototype, look, you can put the prototype. Mitsubishi 6274, first in production. Build for Loud One Turbo Magna.
Yeah. What's that spacer that they use in between it?
That's a thermospacer. Trying to stop the heat transfer. I know it's like old school carby tech, but obviously they do produce a lot of heat.
Yeah.
But I see the problem with Mitsubishi is they do this, so you try and get like in a racing environment, that is crap because you can't get to your spark plugs or coils or anything. So this, at least, you'll be able to service your engine without taking off half the bloody car.
Yeah.
And obviously that's just a standard Holly top, but I need a modified to come around this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a forged engine as well. That's a 3.9 litre. So that's a 6G75.
Factory crank, or is it aftermarket crank?
Factory crank. So that's these are our 380s. That's a 380. That's a 380 engine, but it's converted to fit into a Magna, and that's a 6G74, which is a 3.5. And there's a bunch of these turbos that I got out of a bin.
Make good shed art pieces.
No, some of these will work. Look.
You'd need a big engine to spool that one up.
Oh, no, you wouldn't. You just need a small engine revving really, really high.
So, going back many moons ago, what was your very first car?
Boom, the Mitsubishi Magna, very first car. Love that thing.
What sort of condition was it when you first got it?
But yeah, first car, it was bog stock original.
Yep.
It was this car's actually always been in the frickin' name. This was my uncle's Westpac banking car.
Yeah, right.
So he had that, and when he went up for sale, I put a bid in, and yeah, I bought it straight off my uncle's through the bank, which was really, really cool.
So money's not an object. You want to put another car in the garage, dream car or whatever. What would that look like?
Apart from the one you're aiming for, then pick a different one.
No, I don't. There's no other car I want. I've pretty much got. I mean, really, I've got my dream cars. Like all I ever wanted was an Evo. Got an Evo. My dad had a Monaro, so that's why I got the GDO. I mean, really, that's not mine, but I would love an R34.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a dream car-wise, there's only one, and they don't make them in this country. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And that looks a little bit like a supercar, or?
It's got a V10 in it. I don't know. Does that give it away?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, go.
Let's go, because it's fucking heavy. This is how I get my exercise. Hi, my name's Rhys. I'm a male prostitute.